But guys, let's go ahead and move on to the last topic of the day. We got 165 people in here, 144 likes. So go ahead and give me those thumbs up. And I cannot wait to talk about this right here. I mean, this is the topic of the week, of the decade, of the whatever. And I'm gonna come to struggles first. Yes. I had to. And then I'm gonna come to Larry and then Lamont, And so
let me sit up.
Yeah, go ahead and sit up. Clear throat, all that good stuff. So I got the last topic of the day. Got the report right here from Variety. I got a few reports. I got this from Daily Report 71.com. Netflix subscribers canceling subscriptions following Dave Chappelle's new special, The Closer. Got this one right here from the Hollywood Reporter. Dave Chappelle gets standing ovation amid Netflix special controversy. If this is what's being canceled, I love it. And also this one right here from Variety. Dear White People co-showrunner Jacqueline Moore, that's what Jacqueline looks like, on why she's boycotting chill out. I was on why she's boycotting Netflix over transphobic Dave Chappelle special exclusive. And so if you have not seen the Netflix special, I strongly suggest you check it out. Watch it in its entirety. Do not watch clips that people are putting online and taking out of context. That's why we're in this conversation now. So watch the whole thing. I watched it myself. I got to watch it again. But so first of all, I'm gonna call you Netflix Tyra. I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. But have you seen the special? What did you think about the special? And if you've seen it and stuff, which I'm sure you have, of course, you know about the past 30 minutes he was on this topic right here, LGBTQIA plus. It upsets some people.
Oh Lord.
Do you think that they are right? Do you think they are right in their outrage? Do you think they're tripping, being a little sensitive?
Man.
Break the whole thing. Dave Chappelle replying, talking about, hey, I love the cancellation. Jacqueline Moore. I'm not gonna read the articles. Y'all, they're in the description box, so y'all can read them. We all know what they're about. Sarah, how you feeling about all this?
I have one thing to say about all of this. It's not blood, it's beet juice. The shit was good. It was brilliant. It was brilliant, per usual. This has been the best one so far since he signed the deal with them and came out. It's no such thing now as like being too sensitive. Everybody's sensitive. Everybody has something to say. I think with him and him being the caliber he is and the seasoned comedian that he is, they found the right one. He don't care about being canceled. Everything that he does, I don't understand what the outrage is for and why everybody's surprised. This is him. This has always been him. When you go to a show or you watch something you go for the ooh, the ah, the shock. He always shocks you, says something explicit, something, that's going to trigger someone. Then he hits you right back in the face with a history lesson to let you know about what he said and why it makes sense. It's always very smart, really intellectual, really well written. I loved it. I loved everything about it. Did I gasp a couple of times? Yeah, but it's that's what you walk into it expect. It's just like, did he really just say that? And then he cleans it up right away and lets you know why he said it. It's so smart and so well done. The only thing my issue was with everything in total is that we are, in the age of, social media and, the younger generation, you're only, as good as, the last thing you did. Everybody doesn't know, the Dave Chappelle show, the Killing Me Softly, the Def Jam, Dave Chappelle, the Little Skinny, the Nutty Professor, Dave Chappelle, they don't know that. So anybody who doesn't know his shtick and, how brilliant he is, they're just going to associate him with being a negative transphobic comedian. And that's never been him. So I really hate that he leaned in so hard because everything like in the past, I used to love, especially like Killing Me Soft. All of those are my favorite. He used to go in so hard on like an array of topics. It would just be some of, the simplest, dumbest, man pooping on the subway all the way to something like, something transphobic. And it was just a spectrum. Right now, coming out, Dave is very smart. He knows, I think he's in the frame of publicity is publicity, whether it's good or bad. I'm going to say what I need to say. It's more so not targeting a specific, person or audience or, group of people. I just think he knows what works. And I do feel like at this point in time, he says to himself, like, I'm going to say it and I know where it's going to put me. Every time he does this, he's in a headline, he's canceled. It makes whatever he does blow up like 10 times over than, what it is. I do think it's some purpose behind it. I don't think it's just random that he just happens to do this. I think once they poked the bear and bothered him the first time, once he said, something that he felt like was small, he was like, okay, y'all want me to talk some shit? I'm going to talk some shit and I'm really going to bother you. And I'm still going to get my check. I'm still going to blow up. I'm still going to get the publicity. Y'all going to be mad. And it's the last thing I'm giving you. Blood, it's beet juice. I liked it.
Hold on. Y'all gotta block the white supremacists in the chat.
Oh man, Behavior, you have arrived.
Yeah.
You got white supremacists watching you, hate watching. You have arrived.
Okay, no, I see. Thank you, Mara. I appreciate it. Mara got it. Because I was trying to do it myself and it got an error, but then I see it actually said Mara got it. So thank you, Mara. I appreciate you, man. Larry, sorry, got thrown off. Larry, how you feel about all this? Oh, hold on. Well, great comments, Tyra. Very well said. Thank you, man. Larry, go ahead, sir.
I will say that I agree. I think this was out of his Netflix series, this was the best one. And I mean, his other ones were so good. I want to say this is his best one by far, because it's like, well, I mean, and every time I watch one of them, I'm like, oh snap, this is his best one, because they just kept getting better and better and they were funny. And one of the reasons I think people get so angry with Dave Chappelle is that when he's so smart, every time they try and come for him, they just can't, because he's not trying to like cut people in such a way that just seems mean and hurtful. He just simply does what good comedians do. They point out the truth and make you laugh because of it. He is an excellent observationist, and he makes you laugh as a consequence of the things that he observes and the way he tells his stories. I mean, in some of the things, like for instance, I know you mentioned it's not blood, it's beet juice, and for me that was funny. I thought to me the thing that came out right before that was even funnier, which was it's not pussy, it's impossible pussy or beyond pussy. That to me had me just dying. Because if somebody was asking you to explain it, I can't think of a better way that's it's so current and culturally relevant right now. This whole idea of people wanting to be, meatless, but then creating some sort of alternative meat, It's like what's her name with alternative truths. It's just no, there is one thing. You have one thing. There is something that you can't create something else and call it. You can't create a truth and say this is truth. No, there is truth. There is truth and there is lies. That's it. There is no gray area. You have people that tell the truth and people that tell lies. You could have variations of a lie, but that's it. No. But it's the same thing. People can be mad from the LGBT community about how someone else feels. They can say, look, we want you to appreciate our truth. We want you to appreciate our culture. We want you to appreciate our experience. But that's a two-way street. And if you're not willing to look at it both ways and say, okay, I understand that you don't like men. You don't like men that later transition to women because you look at them as still men. Well, fine. You have to accept that, but you can't then turn around and say, because I've heard LGBT people say, well, if you don't want to hook up with a trans woman, then you're a transphobe. You're transphobic and you don't like gay people. Well, why? I don't like that. So why am I a bad person? Because I don't want to hook up with a trans person. And you're acknowledging, like, they always say, well, I don't want to be, I'm just a woman. Well, if you're just a woman, then why are you calling yourself trans? Why are you acknowledging your transition in what you call yourself? If you just call yourself a woman, why do people say, oh, he clocked my T? Where's the T at? If you're just a woman, then what is it? You know you're not just a woman, as you say. You know you are trans. You know that you started something else, and that's what it is. I know people don't like hearing it, but I mean, there are certain absolute truths in this world, on this planet. I mean, I'm black. I'm always going to be black. Even if I transitioned to become a woman, I'm just going to transition into being a black woman. I'm still going to be black. There are certain absolute truths in this world, and we have to accept those things. And people can get mad about it. You cannot like it, but it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. I don't get to be transracial. I can't just say, well, let me check a box here and now say I'm white. I'm gonna go start wearing freaking tight ass khakis and a polo shirt, and lace up my shoelaces extra tight and say that I'm a white dude now. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. When the cop pulls me over, he's still gonna say, get out the car, nigga. Get out the damn car. And if I talk back, I'm gonna get a billy club upside the head or a couple bullets in my ass. That's just the way it is, because people recognize what people are, even if you don't like it, even if you don't want to accept what you are. Other people see it, and they are going to put you in that box, because that's the way the world works. We work in a set of boxes, and everybody wants to put people in boxes because categories make the world operate easier. Deal with it.
Before I come to
Dave
Lamont,
Chappelle was awesome.
right on. Before I come to Lamont, let me just grab a super chat real quick. Tyron Rain Reloaded for $4.99. Thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it.
What a money reside, what a money reside, what a money reside, what a money reside.
They say that women are biphobic if they don't want to date a bisexual man. Real spooky stuff I hear. I don't even know how to comprehend that. Hey, do what makes you happy. That's all I'm gonna say. But thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. And just real quick before I come to Lamont, I just want to say this: if you're a part of the LGBTQIA plus community, I feel that I respect you as a human being, just like everybody else. You deserve the same love, protection, and respect as everybody else, and you don't deserve to be mistreated in any way, shape, or form. So I ain't no hate over here just because we're talking about this. I just want to say that. I do feel that there should
Brandon, you have to also say within that statement, you also have to remind those people, the LGBT community, that they don't deserve any less respect, but they don't deserve any more either. Like, they don't deserve to have their struggles don't get to be elevated above mine because of their feelings. They don't get to say, okay, well, you not calling me by my particular pronoun because you made a mistake is somehow, like, I don't get to berate you about this or destroy you or cancel you because you got something wrong. We all deserve respect, but not more respect.
Well,
we don't deserve less, but not more either.
I was gonna get there, but you took the words out of my mouth.
My bad, man. My bad.
Good.
You know how I get.
What was I gonna say? That what I said in that. I was just gonna say that I just feel that there needs to be more transparency, more communication. When it does come to the trans community, like what I mean by that is if I were to go on a date and I'm under the impression that you're a woman, but you're really a man, I need to know that immediately, so I can then make a conscious decision if I want to proceed with the date or not. Something else I was going to say as well. It just slipped my mind. I won't bring up that story about the locker room thing that happened in California, but
now let's talk about it.
Oh dang! I shouldn't have said it. Well, no, it was a few weeks ago. It was on YouTube where it was a spa in California. It was a woman's locker room, and it was a person that had a male genitalia, penis and testicles, and they're in the locker room, so that everybody's getting undressed, and they expose themselves. There was a little girl in there. There was a black lady in there that was pretty upset about it. And she went and complained to the desk, like, this is the women's restroom. Why is there a man in here with a penis and testicles? And the excuse was, well, he identifies as a woman. And so she got really upset about it. And, you know, when it comes to situation, I'm not trying to poke fun or make fun or be funny or make jokes, but, you know, when it comes to one-off situations like that, I think that's pretty important as well. I don't know how to fix it, so that nobody will feel like an outcast, but at the same time, well, I'm not an expert in the area, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. All I'm saying is there just needs to be more communication and transparency to fix it.
I don't think there would be any way to fix it because they're always having a sense of, you know, separation. So if there was, you know, us going back to this is the women's and this is the men's, and then if you go like this is, you know, personal, you know, trans, it's like, okay, well, you're still separating us. Why do we have to have our own bathroom when I identify as a woman? It's just a lose-lose situation.
Right. Now let me get back to the Netflix thing though. I just kind of took a sidebar because I wanted to just let that part of the community know that you know, I still respect you as a human being. I don't want you to think like just because you are gay or bi or trans that you're less of a person. I don't think that at all. I'm speaking for myself. I don't think that at all. But going back to the Netflix thing, Dave, I don't think Dave should be canceled at all. Especially with the way, well, I'm supposed to be coming to Lamont. My fault. Lamont, go ahead, my brother. How you feeling about all this?
I enjoyed the Netflix special. I thought Dave Chappelle did a masterful job as he always does. And I completely respect the LGBT community. I've never had a problem with that. I've talked about it on my channel often. What I need to know is what exactly was it that offended the LGBT community that Dave Chappelle said in totality of his whole comedy skit, the whole thing, because at the very end, he dedicated basically the last 15 minutes of this skit to talk about the love and the endearment he got from the LGBT community from one person.
Right.
Dave Chappelle has gone on tours and have let his show be led opening act by LGBT community.
Right.
I do feel when you have a group that feels like they're oppressed or whatever, we should hear what it is they feel like is oppressing them. So like the situation with the Washington football team, when they was the Redskins, Native Americans didn't like the team being called the Redskins because that had a derogatory sense to them. But my issue is like Dave Chappelle said in the very beginning of the whole thing. It's like this. How in the hell do the LGBT community get the same amount of advancements and rights in 20 years that Black people been trying to get for 400 years since we've been brought over here and everything we done gone through? So I do take an offense to that to some degree because it does feel true. It was a joke by Dave Chappelle's part, but like Larry just said, you don't get to elevate your sense of right and your sensibility more than some other group who's being oppressed. And I'm not going to say for real, I'm going to say in a different manner, when the trans part of the LGBT is really the ones that seem like they're making all the stink. And you're making a choice to transform your body. You have a choice. You are born with a set of chromosomes. I don't give a damn how much you feel about, oh, I'm a woman now. No, you was born a certain way that is scientific fact, and then you decide to augment that. That doesn't mean that someone should come up here and treat you bad,
right,
beat you, ridicule you, or anything like that, or talk bad to you. That's your choice. But it is still scientific fact. You're born with certain chromosomes, and then you go and attempt to change them. And I don't see how that elevates you in your mind better than the people who are truly being oppressed, Jews, Blacks, and all the other groups. And Dave Chappelle did pick on everybody in this thing. He even had a joke about space Jews. I ain't heard Larry David get on the phone and call and say we need to cancel Dave Chappelle. If anything, Larry David has said, I enjoyed it myself. So I just need to know, what is it that the LGBT community feels he did or said that's setting y'all back? And then on the cancel culture thing, it's like this. I don't per se care for the term cancel culture. If somebody does something that is so egregious, people need to have a swift, stern consequence. And in this situation, there ain't nothing Dave Chappelle has done that is going to merit some kind of stiff consequence other than more people are going to jump on Netflix to see what the hell it was this brilliant artist had to say.
Right on. Now, about all that, I'm gonna answer your question as well. When you wanted to know exactly what offended them, but I love the special. I've only seen it once. Before I give all of my commentary on the trans part of it, I want to watch it again because I want to make sure I fully comprehend it. But a lot of one thing that just disappoints me is a lot of people that have negative comments about the special that I have seen online, and everybody is all over the place. The few that I have checked out, I can tell that they didn't watch the whole thing.
Right.
Especially at the end. I can tell that they just looked at clips that somebody else put online and they're just commenting off that. It's just clear as day as me. Lamont, you made up a great point saying that the last 15-20 minutes of the show, he dedicated the show to his trans friend and said it was a best friend. Like you said, opened up the thing, opened up for him on multiple occasions, saying that, you know, he would run jokes off of her. Hey, is this okay? And we don't mean to say that like, okay, hey, if somebody has one black friend that's non-black, that they mean that they understand. Well, this black person signed off on it. So okay, no, that's stupid talk. We all know that. That's not what I'm saying here. But also at the end of the show, he ended the special saying that I don't want to make any more jokes about the LGBTQ community unless we're all laughing together. Right. So he left it open like, okay, hey, I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to understand, I make fun of everybody. If I'm gonna make fun of you too, I want to make sure that I'm doing it the right and wrong way. Now, hold on, let me address this super chat real quick from Karma Serene. $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much, ma'am. I do appreciate it. I identify as a multimillionaire, so I'm sharing my wealth. Thank you. Keep up the great work, lady and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Karma. We do appreciate it. Got the $1 million over there. Yes, ma'am. But one of the things that he was saying in the special, like he was just making up good points, especially about racism, because at one point he said that can a person be gay and racist at the same time? People was like, yes. And he was like, you know, they're a minority, but they want to be part of that group and get all the benefits until it benefits them to become white. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that is so true. And black people out there, if you're part of the LGBT community, if you're black, I love you. But don't be thinking you have some camaraderie with these white people in the LGBTQ, because as soon as it goes white and black, they're gonna abandon that LGBT minority group and then jump on the white supremacy train, and then you're gonna be stuck wondering like, oh, I thought we was gay together. You know, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I thought we had this camaraderie together, and that's just not the case. And you're gonna be they're outcasts from everybody. So you got to watch out for that too. So that was some good stuff that he brought up, but in this report right here from the Hollywood Reporter, after the special, he got praised for it. So it looks like there's no part. He even before the show started, he was like, "This is gonna be my last show for a while." So he already knew. He don't care. But going over to the Variety right here, y'all was calling her Miss Doubtfire in the chat. I saw. This is Jacqueline Moore, and she went in a little bit on why she was offended. Lamont just kind of saying it's not the jokes, it's what the jokes can do and they can possibly bring on violence. So I kind of want to touch on that a little bit. His show is huge, says Moore, who was a writer and co-showrunner on Netflix's Dear White People. He's a brilliant, goofy comedian. He's brilliant as a political comedian. He has been brilliant for so long, but I also don't think because you've been brilliant means that you're always brilliant. Let me see if she says it exactly. After the Chappelle special, I can't do this anymore. I won't work for Netflix again as long as they keep promoting and profiting from dangerous transphobic content. And she said on Instagram. I thought she said something like maybe I was wrong.
Well, you did say that she said that joking on the community can lead to violence. But again, I still don't. What did he say in terms of a joke that would lead to violence on your community, that wouldn't lead to violence in the Jewish community, that wouldn't lead to violence in the black community? Give me specifics. Give me detail. I need to know what you mean.
It's probably the Beyond Meat, like, you know, you don't want nobody like, oh, you got Beyond Meat for, you know, coochie or whatever, you know. But
see, that's an insecurity on a trans person's part because, B. Avery, they want to think they're a woman. And I've heard straight women who tend to get offended that these trans women run around here acting like they feeling the same things that a woman who was born natural is feeling in terms of going through a period and all that they're not. And if that is what she's trying to argue for, who's going to beat up nobody's trying to beat you up over that. They're insecure that if I'm a straight man and we go on a date and you're able to fool me into thinking you came out a natural woman, and I press you on it and somehow I know I get the truth and I don't want to date you anymore, then I'm the problem. That's what that sounds like, the insecurity she's talking about. That's what it sounds like they're talking about in terms of, we might have someone catch an attitude and want to go into a fight about something like that.
Larry, go ahead.
There's a couple of things. One of them, just backing up a little bit. What I was going to say, there's an easy solution to the whole bathroom thing is simply create a open bathroom. I mean, that's just what it is. And not to be funny, but back a few years ago, there was this whole thing where men were upset. They were like, look, I have my kid with me. I don't always feel like it's safe or I'm comfortable bringing my 2 or 3 or 4-year-old daughter into the bathroom when I have to go to the bathroom in public. And I don't want to necessarily have my young daughter out there splayed out for the whole world to see when I'm trying to change her diaper in a men's bathroom. So they created family bathrooms. It's a simple solution. You create another bathroom that is an open bathroom. If you want to go in there because you're gay, straight, whatever, you don't care if who's in the bathroom with you, you go into the open bathroom. If you're not comfortable, then you go to the men's or the women's. Simple. Right. They've done it before. They could do it again.
Yeah, guys, that was a few months ago. That was like this year. You can look it up. It was a pretty heated exchange at the spa. And yeah, it was just ugly.
But now, as far as this whole cancel culture thing, I mean, one of the things that I thought was really interesting that Dave Chappelle brought up right out the bat is that the baby killed a black man in a Walmart, and nothing happened to him. His career did not suffer. He killed another human being, took that life, and nothing happened to his career. But he says some unflattering words about a particular community, and all of a sudden now they want to take away his livelihood. I'm thinking to myself, I don't care about your feelings more than I care about a human life. I just don't. I don't care if someone hurts your feelings every day of the week. You are actually alive to feel those feelings. That other person's dead. Why is it that we care more about your white feelings than this black person's life? And I just think that, like, he said it, people heard it, and then he moved on to other things and talked about so many other things so fast and so funny that I don't think people really let that sink in. And he brought it back a little bit, but I think it's just one of those things that we have to recognize, like, black lives really do matter, and they matter more than your white gay feelings.
Can I push back on that?
Period.
I didn't follow the story, but I think that when the baby killed somebody, it was out of self-defense. So he had a right to kill him.
Okay.
Or, so
I'm assuming it had to have been in self-defense unless the dude would have been locked up. But I'm still saying my point still matters. Black lives matter more than other people's feelings. I don't care if it's gay people. I don't care if it's white people, Asian folks, Hispanic folks. No, and the same goes in reverse. Your gay lives are worth more than my black feelings. If black folks are out there murdering gay and trans people, and we can't sit up there and say, oh, you're just being racist, you're hurting my feelings. No, your lives are worth more than feelings. And if we're going to talk about people, then yes, I understand that people don't like being made fun of at times. People get their feelings hurt, but that's just what things are. People get their feelings hurt all the time. Black folks, we've been getting our feelings hurt for 400 plus years in this damn country. We have been made the butt of every joke that could be made, and some people need to learn how to toughen their damn skin up. That's just what it is. And if you don't want to have yourselves made fun of, then you need to go sit in a corner somewhere. Because in all honesty, the fact that people are making fun of you is sort of a rite of passage into acceptance into the mainstream culture. That's just what it is. When people can make fun of you and you can laugh at it and say, okay, that was cool, let's move on. Now, there's a difference between making fun of somebody with something serious. Like, I'm not cool with white comedians getting up there and calling people the N-word and using the N-word. I'm not cool with that. But I'm cool with white comedians getting up there and making jokes about black people where black people do some funny stuff. And I've heard white comedians say, black folks are about to tell some lies when they start a sentence with, well, what had happened was, because that shit is true. When you hear a black person say, well, what had happened was, about some BS is about to come up out their mouth. And when people recognize that and they use it in their comedy, I'm okay with it. But people do have to stop being so sensitive on certain subjects. And if they can't, then go sit in the corner.
Right on.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Let me go to super chats real quick. Jonathan saw $4.99. I renewed my Netflix sub just to watch Dave Chappelle special. We all come through Earth through a woman. You can't cancel Mother Nature. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Also from a beautifulist $5. The ignorance of the panel on the sensitivity of this topic is astounding. You may want to include Black LGBTQ folks if you're looking for clarity. Oh, well, I disagree with that, but I will still take your money. So thank you very much for the super chat.
What a money reside, what a money reside, what a money reside, what a money reside.
Man, I disagree with that big time. Like, I mean, I don't know.
I'm fully embracing my ignorance at this point.
Yeah.
Call me ignorant.
But Tyler, go
I'm
ahead.
embracing it.
No, what I was
hold on.
saying was,
my ignorance feels good.
If you watch the entire show, I think a lot was missed on Dave's part. Well, the audience missed, and people watching is where he was saying, like, I think Lamont just mentioned, you guys are being really sensitive. We're, the ones who are out here being, harassed, shot down, this, that, and the other, and targeted because we're Black. And we know all too well that the gay and, it's really big in the trans community where they are, targeted and attacked because, they're trans or whatever the case may be. I think the bigger picture was, he was trying to say, I recognize you. It takes another human to know another human. It's just like, though I am up here making these jokes, we're still kind of running the same race. Is your race moving a little bit quicker than mine? Yes, it is. But just know that if anybody can identify with you as, just being targeted because you're gay, you're trans, you're a part of the community, we would, because, we've had the same struggles. We're running the same race. Like, don't just identify that I'm always attacking you. If anybody's going to understand, it's going to be me. So don't take everything, as to be negative. And it was just, I think that there were a lot of, positive points. Of course, those aren't going to, blow up and be on social media as much as the negative stuff that he said. But I think the ending was, really important. And it just really let the audience and everybody know, like, it's just not about me trying to be up here making jokes and target anybody. I understand you. And until you know that I do understand you beyond these jokes, then I'm not making them anymore.
Right. I need to set up a Skype so I can have people call in. I'm really thinking about doing that. I really am. What do y'all think of that? Y'all think that would be a good idea?
We've done it before, and it's going to be wild.
I mean, I don't know. I said up here, I was like, trans people are people like everybody else. They don't deserve to be mistreated. They deserve to be loved and all that. And there needs to be more communication. I mean, but if that's ignorant to you, if I go on a date and, I want to know your sexuality, your gender. I mean, if that's ignorant, I don't know. That was, I don't know. I don't know any, I don't know any trans people. If I do, if you're a trans, please email me so we can talk about it. If I'm wrong, if I'm ignorant, if I'm being insensitive, educate me. I still need to watch that documentary on Netflix. What's that documentary called? Tara, help me out.
I know what it's
about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a documentary about. I want to say it's about LGBTQ. Karma, help me out. I know if you're still in the chat. What is it called? Disclosure. I still need to watch this. Thank you, Mara. Yeah. I still need to watch Disclosure. Because when the whole Black Lives Matter and then all Black Lives Matter, I was like, what are y'all talking about? We all in this together. If Black people get reparations, if we get benefits, the Black trans community gets it too. You're raised up with us. And homegirl reached out to me talking about you need to watch something called Disclosure. I watched about 10 minutes of it, and I like what I was seeing so far. And so you're talking about why would I know? Anyway. But yeah, so I don't know, beautiful one. Fullest One saying that, or I forgot exactly what you said, but I didn't like it.
We're insensitive.
Yeah. But anyway, does anybody have any other comments on this?
I do.
Last topic. Meg. 60 seconds.
I want to say you were about to touch on something, saying that people in the LGBT community need to make sure that other folks know what they're dealing with. And I agree with that wholeheartedly, because if you don't, you start talking about very dangerous situations. If you are an LGBT woman that's passable and you go out with a man who thinks you are a woman and then finds out that you are trans, and you find yourself on a as a hashtag because you've been killed, I'm not saying that it's your fault, but I'm saying that you could have probably prevented that by simply being upfront and letting this person know what your situation is so that they can make an informed decision, instead of in what a lot of people would say was trickery or fraud, saying that they didn't sign up for this. They signed up for going out with a woman, not with a trans woman. Right. And if you put yourself in danger like that and something bad happens to you, I'm not saying it's your fault, but it could have been prevented.
But that's the thing, Lamont. I think what they really want you to understand is, because they're going to take that and be cut and dry with it and just say, they're targeted for many reasons. Sometimes you don't have to be doing anything, or sometimes you can just be targeted as a trans person and then you're just attacked for being who you are. Mm-hmm. And I think that's, where the confusion comes. Like, don't just think that, we're out here being dishonest. Some of us are, forthcoming with information. Every trans person is not, hidden. We're just attacked just for trying to be who we are.
2 comments I gotta get real quick. Mara, I don't understand this. Black trans people aren't included in Black Lives Matter. Let's be completely honest. I genuinely do not understand that. I could be wrong. I just don't. What are they not included in? If you are trans, please email me. I will keep it private. It will be between me and you. I want to know, because I don't.
I think it's because when stuff happens, because everybody has been really close to the Black Lives Matter movement. It always seems that when it is something that happens to a trans person, it's not as reactive as when something happens to your everyday Black man or your Black woman.
So what
exclusion?
What happened to a trans person though?
It could be anything. I'm not sure.
Because the only thing I know of is like a trans person was either beat on or murdered by another Black person. Now I will go ahead and say that is 100% wrong. That should never happen. But when it does happen, don't they receive justice? Doesn't the assailant go to jail and is punished for that? And to answer the question, I think is yes. But when we're killed by cops, there is no justice. You have, I don't know. But
this is the thing that frustrates me, B. It's like people are acting like that, like the trans people and the LGBT people are acting like they're the only ones that are marginalized and disenfranchised with things. I get it that when things happen to trans people, maybe the community doesn't care in some respects. Maybe people don't care as a whole in some respects. But guess what? That shit is true for all kinds of people. We have been complaining about this whole thing about Black girls and Black women going missing, and no one gives a flying F. And then you have some little white girl with all kinds of mental health issues that gets killed by her boyfriend, and that shit has been on the news nonstop for 3 weeks. You know how many young Black women are out there missing that no one's even bothered to look for outside of their families? And we're supposed to be worried about your community when you're not worried about ours? Man, fuck that. Excuse my French. I'm not worried about anybody else's community until they start worrying about ours. You want to worry about ours? How about you put your girl up there for a week? How about the other people out there? How about when a little Black girl named LaQuisha goes missing from Baltimore, you put her on TV and you start looking for her? How about you start sending people all out into the woods and into the swamps like they're doing for this dude out in Florida and they did for this white girl? How about you do that? How about you do that? Because you can say, well, that was a white straight girl. She was a white girl. Just like all these LGBT community people are white people out there that are talking about this. Now, as far as black folks, the black trans people say no one cares about when we get killed. Guess what? No one cares about when black straight people get killed either. So you're in the boat. And people start saying that you don't think you're in this Black Lives Matter thing. Guess what? You are, because you're saying people don't care about you. They don't care about us either. We're all in the same damn boat.
Eman's movie reviews $20. We need to reserve canceling people for major issues like Harvey Weinstein. Agreed. And you said that on your show. I agree with that. Otherwise, hold folks accountable. Put them in timeout and allow the same grace you want in return to give people room to grow. Eman, I agree with that 100%. And thank you so much, my brother. I do appreciate that. This gentleman speak. Hold on. If you want to hear this gentleman speak more on that, you can go check out the replay of his show that he had last Friday, because he touched on this as well, and he expounded on the point that he made right here on my super chat. So, Eman, thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Larry, last comment, and we're gonna head out of here.
Now, I just want to comment on what Eman's on that subject he touched on, because Dave Chappelle did touch on this, and it's not. I'm not saying that Harvey Weinstein should not have been canceled. The things he did was egregious, and he should have been, charged with crimes and convicted of them, because he did crimes, and therefore he should be punished for them. But at the same time, you have people in there willing to allow these things to happen and not speak on them because they want to continue to work and do what they want to do. And Dave Chappelle, like he said, I can say what I want to say about this because I walked away. I had people saying, do these things, and he said no and suffered the consequences. For him, the consequences were a loss of $50 million and serious reputational loss, because people were talking about he's crazy and everything else. And so he has the right to talk about those things because he suffered those consequences. But he also pointed out that if people did not allow those things to happen to themselves, if they prioritized their own bodies and their own lives over their own profits, those things would not continue to happen. If you simply say, nah, fuck that, this is not worth it to me. I don't care how much money or fame I'm going to get. I'm not doing that. You're out of your cotton picking mind. And didn't allow it to happen, and then went and told on the people that were trying to do it, it wouldn't happen. People like that stay in power because people allow them to stay in power.
Right on. Well, thank you very much, sir. Well, guys, I want to thank y'all so much for being here. I do appreciate it for a Movie News Roundup show number 34.